Hello everyone, in today's video we'll be looking at a pretty intimidating lock. Is the Vachette Radial NT. So indeed this key looks pretty terrifying. You can see many cuts because this is essentially a 6-row high pin count lock, although there are three pairs of rows that are very close to each other. I will show you in a second. So here's our key. It's a pretty beefy key, honestly, like a good chunk of metal. And there's actually, as you can see, even some potential for an interactive element, but there is no such thing in this particular cylinder. I wonder how it works, by the way, but it looks like this. Other than that, we have just many cuts for many pins. So in this particular lock we have 21 pins, but I did not got all of them because even getting these was pretty terrible, and I still have some left on the bottom. Maybe you will be able to see. Yeah, on the bottoms there are actually 2 rows of pins. It would be nice if it focused like here. Yeah, so as you can see, or maybe you cannot, the pins come in 2 rows close to each other, and the same situation is on the top. These are the top, and on the side as well, on the left side. So all in all we have 21 pins, and they come at a sort of an angle, right? So this left row goes a little bit to the right, and this right row on the bottom goes a little bit to the left. And same thing goes for these side pins. They also come at angle, and top pins as well. So yeah, it's pretty dense in there. That's what I'm trying to say. But honestly, like, I know it's really a lot of pins, these 21 pins, but all of these are just standards, just your average standard driver pin. No T-pins in there, no spooling or anything, just your standard pins. Of course it can be confusing, but at least this lock did not act tapered. That's what I'm pretty happy about, because you know how it is with high pin count locks, especially cabas. But this one, although it's pretty used, I think it did not act tapered at all. For the key pins, all of them except for one look like this. These are your standard T-shaped key pins in high pin count locks. But this guy, this is like the only one that has a pretty sharp lip, and I guess you can overset it easily. Did not run into such problem, but yeah, that's just one different key pin. Anyway, the format of this lock is pretty weird, as you can see. So some of the pins go out by sliding this housing. So the log is basically resting inside of the housing, and gutting is done, as you will see, like this. But these bottom pins still remain there, and you have to find like a really weird shaped or weird format follower. I don't have such a thing, just to get these pins out. So there are some Bibles in here. Very weird format, honestly. There was some drilling done on the bottom. I guess there was like a sprung pin or like retaining pin. Anyway, how to approach this lock? So it's a high pin count lock, so very heavy tension is always your friend. I was using this Z-bar to tension it, and to pick the top row I used this curved flag. It's number 1 from multi-pick, so that's the profile. So that allowed me to reach some of these pins. For the bottom row I used a different flag, that was the number 6. So this one you just have to push down, and for the side I used some hook. But you can be pretty creative with this, honestly. Like, you don't have to use these tools if you try to pick it it's not like strict requirement. There's some leeway definitely, because the keyway is, as you can see, pretty open, so it's up to you what you will use. But you should definitely use heavy tension to pick this lock. You should also try to drop tension and release some pins if you feel like you're not getting anywhere, because oversets happen, and they definitely happen a lot. So, and actually I opened this lock by dropping an overset, as you will see, so that's another thing. And other than that, just go through these pins more than one time, and these rows sort of isolated, sort of not, but very generally speaking, there was some isolation, but definitely not like very strict. So you will have to jump from the rows, right? So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about this lock. The gutting was very unenjoyable, but I'm happy I did it anyway, to see those interesting standard pins that no one has ever seen before. But yeah, I will just have to put them back now, because it will be a long process. Okay, let's go ahead and get this lock picked. Okay, here we go. Keyworks. Better make sure that all the pins dropped, because sometimes they don't. Okay, so let's go clockwise, and let's start by putting some really heavy tension, and yeah, start working on the top row. Something out of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, top left, click on the first pin and on the second as well. I'll click on second, top right. I think that's all she wrote. Okay, let's move to the bottom row. So first pin on the bottom is binding right away, so give him a little click, and I'm actually gonna grab a different flag. So there's that. I actually sprung back, so he wasn't binding too much, I guess. Let's try the last pin. Okay, that one gave me a click. Okay, so I think I will check the side pins. Wonder if this, okay, they are like half binding. It's not like something completely convincing, but gave some of them a click nevertheless. Yeah, but this is not exactly going smoothly. Okay, but I click on the second pin on bottom left is nice. So is a click on the first pin on the bottom left. Actually, let's try to look for more binders. Nothing here. This bottom row is always like a little bit tricky, right? So this movement is so unnatural to me. Okay, I set some pins on the bottom. So let's see if anything changed on the side. Yeah, click on the second, right off the bat, on the third. Yeah, this is actually super awkward. Click on the fourth. On the side, let me just check if all of them jiggle. I guess first one does. Second one, level click, 3 is okay. fourth should be okay. Check the bottom left. A little something out of the first pin. That was just super small feedback, honestly. It's hard to tell. Let's give him a push. What can happen, right? Second one. Okay, give him a click as well. Third one, little click. Okay. Okay, so this should be fine. Let's just quickly check the side top. Okay, I guess they're fine for now, but yeah. So back to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, nothing. 4. Sort of jiggling. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and release some tension. Sometimes it helps to drop oversets, right? I think I dropped something, so maybe. Okay, the third pin on the bottom, okay, is binding, so give him a click. And actually, usually that's one of the last that binds, so I wonder how far can we be from an open, right? Not far, that's for sure. Let me just check the side pins again, and if nothing happens, I will release some tension again. So this one should be good. Second one as well. Third I just set. And these ones. So the first side pin, okay. None of them is actually suspicious. Let's try to release some tension. Maybe something good will happen. Well, nothing's happening. So maybe it's just a question of going through all of these pins once again, right? This one is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, but I will just leave him alone. This one definitely not. This is giving me some counter rotation, so that's a bad sign. Okay. Not this guy. Not this guy. Not this. I wonder what's holding me up, like, honestly. Something dropped back. All right. Okay. Actually, I had to manually counter rotate because this core is not exactly willing to turn. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this as fast as possible because this will take a while. This whole gutting. Okay, let me just switch to autofocus first. Okay, change the angle a little bit. This should be good, I think. Yeah, so I will just show you how this works and then I will just speed it up. So as you can see, I got some tape here because this core likes to slide out by itself. See, out of this housing. Soon enough we will be able to see some pins and springs, of course, so I'm just better. I will just speed this up because it's a pretty long process. Okay, so see you in a second. Okay guys, so that was a truly horrible experience, and for the neighbors too. And yeah, there's still some pins left. Guess what? There's still some pins on the bottom of the keyway. So I am definitely not going to gut these because it's, you know, you need to sort of remove this circlip, and this has a weird diameter. So you will just have to trust me that they are there. There's like how many of them? I think 6 more or 7 even. Yeah, I will have to count them, but yeah, this was a real chore. So sorry, but I thought it will go more smooth, but definitely not exactly an enjoyable experience. So I think it's time to wrap up before I lose these things and my neighbors lose their temper. But anyway, here's the pins I managed to get out. There's how many? 7 plus 8, that's like 15, right? 15 pins in here. So all the springs. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Or the pick at least. The gutting was definitely not enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed it as I said, and see you next time with the next video. Bye!